Revenge of the Druid Queen. Chapter 2. Chaos erupted. A table sailed across the tavern, a flurry of playing cards flying like so many moths after it. Mel rushed out of the kitchen and elbowed through the onlooking patrons. Angus's trunk-like arms were locked around a thrashing man who was built like a brick with a thick black beard. She didn't know the man, but his long leather coat and various sheathed blades marked him as a bounty hunter. His escape efforts were useless against Angus's strength. She only heard bits and pieces of his angry shouts.
Thinks we're all daft.
No matter how many times she'd witnessed it, it always surprised her how quickly a card game could go from a way to pass the evening to broken teeth and bloody floorboards. Angus had the bearded bounty hunter under control, but the other two men were a mess of spilled ale and swinging fists. One was another bounty hunter, of middle age like his companion, with stringy hair and a long, clean-shaved face. The other was a regular of the Sneezing Dragon, a local fisherman by the name of Philib. Philib wasn't small, but neither was the bounty hunter. With a sharp inhale, Mel shouted, "Hey!" Her voice barely rose above the clamour. All around them, other customers looked on. They were mostly yelling, but some exchanged money. They were betting on this sorry lot. Unbelievable. "Knock it off!" she shouted in vain. The bounty hunter landed a painful blow in his opponent's belly, causing Philib to wheeze and fall to a knee. With a growl of frustration, Mel took 2 mugs from a nearby table and flung them at the men's feet. They both startled and looked away just long enough for someone to step between them. "That's enough," Mel said, flinging drops of ale from her hands. The man who stepped forward raised his hand slightly, staring them both in the eye like rams about to charge. He was one of the other strangers who'd been playing cards.
I think there's been a misunderstanding,
he said, voice smooth and cool. Mel hadn't noticed him much before. He was nearly Angus's height, but with a leaner build, though still broad about the shoulders. Messy, light russet hair hung over his ears, both an unpopular style and uncommon colour, making him appear ever more the outsider. She couldn't tell his trade at a glance, but he was no bounty hunter. Angus's prisoner struggled, still trying to escape. Philib, the fisherman, eyed his opponent warily, only just recovering his breath.
"Nah, there hasn't."
Shut up,
the barkeep barked.
He's a cheat.
The reedy bounty hunter pointed to Philib.
Lads, I think this has gotten out of hand, don't you?
The russet-haired stranger said, a smile playing on his lips. Mel knew this man was balancing on a narrow ledge. Some nights, that would have been enough for them to walk away. But as Angus said earlier, something strange was in the air. Be that the full moon, or just the bad weather. She didn't know. Either way, Philib had rage in his eyes, and this was about to become worse than bruised knuckles and egos. The last thing they needed was a dead body, and the bounty hunter looked ready to make one. His jaw was set, rough hands clenched at his sides, and his feet continually shifted, unable to stay in one place for more than a few moments. Knowing the Sneezing Dragon's customers, they were likely all cheating. Mel had learned many years ago how untrustworthy the world could be, especially the ever-flowing customers of a port village's tavern. Her first months there hadn't been easy. How could anything be easy when she knew so little of the world? Her memory had been so fragmented, she had to learn many basics of life. How to cook, how to care for chickens, what a chicken was. At first, she'd been hopeful, believing her memories would return, and she'd be able to return to her home, find the family she left behind. If she had any. But months, then years later, it became clear nothing was coming back. So she'd carved out this life. At least in Slapport she had a friend. Bedelia and her mother had quite literally taught Mel everything she knew. She met Bedelia's gaze, but the barmaid only shrugged. Another night, another brawl, her expression seemed to say.
I see nothing wrong.
The bounty hunter ground out between clenched teeth.
Not a crime to take back what was stolen.
Stolen!
Philib spat.
I won fair. These two don't have the stones to lose, that's all.
The bearded bounty hunter struggled in Angus's grip again, shouting,
He's got cards in his shirt.
I have not.
Philib pulled up his sleeves, thrashing the fabric back and forth to show it hid nothing.
See, you pisspots.
The bounty hunter moved forward in an instant, but the russet-haired stranger caught him with an extended arm, pushing against the angry man's chest. His nostrils flared, but the bounty hunter didn't push back.
Let's not.
The stranger crooned.
Can't we work this out like gentlemen?
Ha!
Philip said.
Hunting dogs can't do anything like gentlemen.
The stranger couldn't hold the bounty hunter back this time. In 2 quick strides, he tackled the fisherman. Angus threw the bearded one to the ground, away from the chaos. The reedy bounty hunter landed 3 quick blows before Angus and the stranger could wrench him and Philip away from each other. Arms locked behind Philip's, the stranger glared at him, while Angus and another patron pulled the bounty hunter back.
Do you not like the shape of your face?
The stranger said. He let the man go, but stayed nearby. Philip remained silent this time, to Mel's great surprise. Some locals seemed to have mouths they didn't know how to shut.
Quit.
Angus grunted. He pushed the bounty hunter away, then gave both men a stern glare and pointed between them.
Work it out or get out of my tavern.
Keep it.
The bounty hunter drawled, spitting a bloody gob onto the floor.
Not worth my time.
As he turned to leave, he muttered.
You're still a cheat.
Philip's face turned flame red.
Lying dog.
The stranger was quick, but the bounty hunter was quicker, dodging his reach. Without thinking, Mel stuck out her foot. The bounty hunter's face cracked against the rough, ale-soaked floorboards. As he shakily pushed himself off the ground, he glared, broken nose leaving a dribble of bright red down his shirt. She couldn't stop the laughter from slipping past her lips. Neither could many of the customers surrounding them. Even the stranger chuckled, his loud, rough laugh the same as she'd heard earlier from the card table. Stumbling to his feet, he leaped for the stranger, but the man dodged the first swing, sliding away as if part of a dance.
Don't blame me for your clumsiness,
he chided. The bounty hunter's hands moved in a flash, a glinting dagger appearing as if by magic. The stranger's face fell, all signs of humour wiped away. He dodged a swipe of the blade, hands raised to shield himself. And he dove. Crashing into the bounty hunter, he took him to the ground and Mel with them. A sharp crack sounded through her skull, and her ears rang like 1,000 tolling bells. Before she even hit the ground, everything faded to black.